Hello everyone, Sigs here, and welcome to a VOD of my first time defeating Shadow Lord Kelris in the Blackfathom Deeps Raid of the World of Warcraft Classic Season of Discovery. So I am playing as a Healing Mage here, and I'm just going to go over a couple things about the fight before we start, and then as the fight goes on I will kind of explain what's going on as far as the mage healing build and all that. So our strategy here is to have the ranged stack on the Moon Marker player. That is to bait the Twilight bolts that he shoots. Wherever they land, they leave a puddle on the ground that grows over time, so we want to keep those under control so that we don't run out of room and that it's not hitting the melee. Beyond that, occasionally two players will be sent down into a shadow realm of sorts. You will have to defeat a priestess, which will allow you to find a portal to get back to the top realm and actually hit the boss. And beyond that, he will cast Shadowy Chains, which is going to put a massive dot on a number of players for 12 seconds. So what we did was we tried to kick it every time possible, but we had the priest dispel that. As a healing mage, you can dispel curses, but not magic. So my job was basically to heal the group and to let the priest conserve as much of his mana as possible so that he could be able to dispel in phase 2. And with that, the boss fight is going to start here. So what I like to try to do at the start of pulls is to put rejuvenation on the tanks and then sit down and drink as they're pulling. Unfortunately, this group didn't like to do pull timers, so I got put in combat immediately. I start this fight missing mana, which is not great. So right off the bat, we are stacked. I'm moving over. Doing Arcane Blast at the start, generally when you have full mana, you don't want to just sit at full mana because you're missing out on mana regen, so obviously just want to dump some mana right off the start. Looking out for low health targets here, so that El Capo, when he comes back up, we get a rejuvenation on him, then we throw out a couple of Arcane Blasts to top him off. Beyond that, though, I want to go into Wanding. This is a very long fight, and mana gets pretty tight, so especially since I started off with missing mana, definitely just weaving in wands here. Not great for parsing, not a lot of overall DPS, not as much healing either because of it, but it is what I have to do. So the boss gets a little out of position there. The tanks do get him back, but we miss an interrupt on the Shadowy Chain, so I throw out a mass regeneration there and then a couple of Arcane Blasts for some healing. Again, same deal. We're baiting the puddles, moving over. That El Capo keeps getting low, so I'm targeting him with a regeneration. Tank's beacon fell off, so we put a regeneration on him, throw out an Arcane Blast. You can see the healing going to El Capo there when the hit lands. Priest throws in a penance there to help out, which is probably a good thing because my mana is already getting pretty strained. So weaving in wands, that El Capo is just getting trucked, so I just have to throw out Arcane Blasts here even though my mana is so low. We get a clear casting proc here is nice. We have to shift position to not be LOS. Throwing a regeneration on the other tank because he now has threat. Our warlocks are both taking a little bit of unnecessary damage there as they run through the puddles to catch up with us, so I have to heal them. And then we go to the down phase here. So these priestesses spawn 3 on each pillar, and you have to defeat them to get a portal to appear so that you can go back up. This group was saying that it's random. You might need to defeat 1, you might need to defeat 6 in order to find the portal. So it's random, and me as a healer, I don't want to spend too much mana on it. Thankfully, we phase here, so we come up. Once we get the boss to 30%, you just get pulled right out of that realm. We don't even have to find the portal. I go into an evocation. We go into phase 2 with full mana, which is great. Looking for targets that are low. That El Capo got real low, so we get a regeneration on him. We get one over there on the lock who's going to be life tapping, another one on the tank. Now we're going into like a burn rotation here, so we have full mana. This is a burn phase. Get a regeneration on myself, and we're just going into Arcane Blast. So ideally I can get up to 4 stacks and then dump into like an empowered Arcane Missiles here. Every time I have to cast a full regeneration on somebody, I'm going to end up dropping stacks. So it is good for mana conservation, but I'm actually trying to burn here. People getting low, just throw out an Arcane Missile, and then right there I fall over. So I was being really reckless with my positioning, and I was standing in the puddles on the ground for quite a while there. I did notice, I think I was just kind of healing through it, and then I moved out of it, and I think what happened is the puddle grew, and as soon as it touched me, I took a tick of damage before I could respond to having the debuff. So I ended up dying to Shadow Crash there. Either way, I feel like I should have been a little more careful with my positioning, but thankfully he's low enough for the group to just finish him off, and that is the end of the fight. So definitely not the best performance by me. It was happening too fast in real time to kind of explain everything as we were going, but I make a lot of mistakes, questionable decisions with my rotation, really poor positioning, just all in all, not the best showcase of what a healing mage can do, but it was good enough to get this boss defeated, which was good. Now, we were in here for quite a while on this boss. The run was great, everything was easy up until this point, and it took us about an hour to get this guy down. I don't know how many pulls, I'm sure it says on the logs, maybe 12 or so if I had to guess. At least that's what it felt like. But really the key was just going into that last phase, transitioning with everybody healthy. That last phase is definitely a burn phase. You want your DPS to pool mana so that they can burn him as quickly as possible. You want your healers to have mana because you cannot kick him in that phase, so a lot of people are going to get that shadow dot on them. So we wanted our priest to have all the mana just to dispel that, and then for me to be able to evocate at the start of that pull and then have mass regeneration up and do as much healing as possible while burning the boss. That was kind of the key in getting this boss defeated. So hopefully some people found this video useful. If nothing else, you can see the fight. I don't know if the talking over it actually added much or not. I think you need a little bit more slowed down, in-depth breakdown of what's going on, but at least you can kind of see the, general mechanics of the fight as well as kind of my thinking and kind of what I'm doing. You can just mute the video and watch it at a slower speed if you want to see, step by step everything that's going on. But definitely let me know what you think. If you'd rather just have VODs without any narration, I could throw those up. That would be a lot easier to do, so I'm happy to do it. If you like the narration, if you like the explanation of what's going on and that kind of stuff, then I'm happy to do that too when I have a chance. But that's going to be all for now, so thanks for watching. Hope you found this video useful, and I hope you have a good one. Take care. Peace.